Spencer Ross is one step forward, and I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry I didn't have a video this weekend. I got busy at work, and then this will be my last video for a couple weeks. I'm going on a work trip. History. We all have a history. Good, bad, neutral. It's there. One, you can't change it. There's a lot of people that talk about, well, if I could have. I don't talk like that very often. Every once in a while, someone will ask me, and I'll review stuff. Like, my time to review is taking a shower. I don't sit there, but I'm hanging out in the shower, washing. Some people like to lift weights, and that's their review time. That's when they're just pumping out weight and they're reviewing about the day before or what they've got on for the day, whatever it is. But my time is the shower. All right, so during that time, I'm reviewing. So I'll think about some stuff. Other than that, I'm not going back 20 years thinking, man, if I could have done something different. I don't live in the past, I live in the present. As a leader, are you walking around saying, you know what I should have done? I should have done this. Now, if you are trying to mentor people, saying, hey, Billy, one of the things I didn't do when I was first hired is I didn't put enough money into my 401k. There's a lot of research out there. One of the things that I didn't do is I didn't put anything in there for a while because there wasn't anything. Some of us who are old enough, there weren't 401ks for us for a while. And then that started happening. But you could save on your own. All right. But either way, it's discipline to save for retirement. So if you're talking about that, that's different than just living in the past going, oh, I should have, I wish I could have. You didn't. Learn from it, move on. Don't keep beating yourself up for something that you could have done, that you didn't know you should have done. Right? When I first started working, I think I was 16 years old, and like I said, there was no 401k at the time, but I could have started saving for retirement, and I did a little bit, but it wasn't enough because no one had put out there at that time that you should be saving a certain amount. Well, in the last couple of years, people have started saying, hey, we need to have someone put out a number for us so that we have a goal. We have someone to measure. And it doesn't have to be exact for everyone, and you can put a disclaimer. And now, if you don't know, the number that they say is around 15%, give or take your income. And then they give the disclaimer, but everyone is unique. Okay, but please just give us a number so that we have something to go by. Because the 5% that I was putting in is very far away from the 15%. Okay, but I could have been saving for retirement on my own. And I was. $100 a month. That, as we know, isn't going to cut it. Okay, so let's not live in the past. Let's live in the present. It's good to review what has gone on for the day or a project that's taken a couple months or a year. Sometimes, some projects take a long time, but mentorship takes a long time. But let's not go back and beat ourselves up for something we didn't know. Sometimes you just don't know that the floor is rotted through until you rip up the carpet. You don't. It felt fine. It looked fine. You pull up the carpet, nuts. The wood on the bottom, it's rotted. All right. Well, maybe we could have judged. No. Hey, we didn't know. We're not going to beat ourselves up for it. We're going to address what's currently going on, and we're going to move on. All right. We all have a history, right? Seasons. So you weren't born yet. You were born. You were a baby. You're a toddler. You're whatever. There's a couple other words, but I say worked at a school. Elementary school, junior high, high school, and then after high school. All right, so you have certain seasons, and you're going to be more or less mature as most of the people around you, right? Why is that? Well, because if you don't have an example, if you don't have the ability to learn, there are some geniuses out there, but I'm talking about maturity. If you don't have the ability to learn from your parents, your grandparents, or people around you, then what are you going to be influenced by? You're going to be influenced by the kids at school. They're going to be influenced by their parents or what they see on TV or social media or whatever, right? Why do I keep saying that? Well, because you are impacted by the stuff that's going around you. And in that season, there are going to be certain factors that weigh more heavily than others. When you're a toddler or in elementary school, you're going to be influenced by your parents more. In junior high, you're probably not going to really care what your parents have to say. And in high school, for the most part, most people don't really care. There's a quote by Mark Twain saying that he couldn't stand his father, but then when he got a little bit older, he was amazed about how much his father had grown. And that what that quote talks about is when he was younger, his dad was wrong all the time. His dad was an idiot. Dad couldn't comprehend stuff. Dad was wrong about this. Dad's wrong about that. But then when Dad got a little bit older, he was like, wow, Dad's pretty smart. Dad knew a little bit more. And that also applies to Mom as well. The sarcasticness of that is Mark Twain got older, and Mark Twain learned that his parents weren't as dumb as he thought they were. Now, that doesn't make people perfect. Jaspreet Singh on One Rental of a Time talks about his parents said you had to be a doctor. He did not become a doctor. He finished his law degree, but he is very successful in other things. Yes, parents try to guide us, and parents are amazing. But we have to live with the choices that we make, and we have to be happy with the choices that we make. I don't talk about feelings a lot, but one of the things that Warren Buffett said is if you're happy, you'll never work a day of your life. It kind of makes sense, right? If you're happy and you're going to work, it doesn't really seem like work. Jaspreet Singh was studying to be a doctor. He wasn't happy. He didn't think it was his calling, so he went somewhere else. And he got his lawyer degree, and he's not a practicing lawyer. He invests in real estate and is very successful. He found his success. His parents gave their opinion, and at a certain time while he lived in their house, he had to abide by their opinion for the most part, right? There are unique situations in many different families. But then when he went to college, he was going for his doctorate. His parents kept saying, you're going to be a doctor. You have to be a doctor to be successful. And it didn't fit. So he stopped. He did something else. Well, that didn't fit. He tried some other things. And he found his calling. He does not negatively talk about trying to become a doctor. That wasn't for him. But he doesn't downplay it. He doesn't go, you know what I should have done? No, that's what I was going for. I didn't like it, so I adjusted. How many people get a degree and are actually using their degree in their job? I got a degree. I didn't use it in my job for the most part. I used a little bit for a long time, and now I do. Okay, cool. But for a long time, I was a part of that 60% of people who get a degree and then don't use it in their current career. Okay, do I talk negatively about my degree? No. Some people do. We didn't know. We thought that the degree that we were getting was going to be it. My older brother was going for a degree in chemistry. He loved it, but it wasn't for him. He got a degree in business. He's good with people. He's good at marketing. He's good at selling things. He's good at managing things. Yeah, he's good at chemistry and he's really smart, but he's better with people. So he stopped and he went in a different direction. That doesn't make him a failure. All that season in the past doesn't make you a failure. What does make you a failure? Not quitting. Quitting sometimes is a good thing. Okay? So if Jaspreet Singh from Minority Mindset, a great channel, talk about financial discipline, phenomenal channel. I recommend it to you. He talks about going to be a doctor. He quit to go do something else. He quit that too. We talk about people being quitters and it being wrong. It's not always wrong. If you're going out to play football and you're a soccer player and you don't like football and you quit, that doesn't make you a quitter. It just means, hey, I don't like that. I like playing soccer and I'm going to go play soccer. If you're a soccer player, if you're playing soccer and you can't stand soccer and you want to go play basketball because you quit soccer is not a negative. Just because you quit, we need to turn that, not twist it. Twisting is negative. Sometimes it can be positive. But for this, we're going to turn it into a positive, right? We want to stay positive about things. Why? Because there's lots of negatives in life. People are going to put you down for your history. The good, the bad, and the neutral. Spencer, do you remember this? I didn't until you brought it up. There's always going to be that person. There's always going to be someone around to remind you of negative things. Maybe it's not today, maybe it's not tomorrow, maybe it's not next month. But there's going to be someone to remind you of negative things. Politics, France, England, a couple stuff in Africa. Mexico just had their elections. America, that's coming up. People are reminding others of, hey, do you remember yesterday when you said this? All right, so that's a political debate. But then they're getting personal about it too. Do those politicians have to have the internal strength to keep going? Yes. Sometimes they have to answer for some negative things. Sometimes they've got to make some clarifying comments about some statements that they made. But either way, they could quit, which that would be a negative, or they could keep going. If your goal is to mentor someone and they're gossiping, and you say, hey, Spencer, I heard you gossiping in the lunchroom. Can you, and someone over here says, hey, Jim, do you remember when you gossiped a couple years ago? How does that benefit anyone? How is that getting a positive outcome for everybody involved? We're trying to encourage people to do the right thing. I've heard too many times people reminding others of negative things when they're trying to stop something. They're trying to stop a bad thing and do you remember when you used to do that? Well, that's not relevant to what's going on right now. Let's say you're a boss and you have to hold someone to account for being late. Have you ever been late? I have. And whether I was held accountable for that then is immaterial. Right now, we're talking about you being late yesterday. You were late. Please don't do it again. It's just a warning. The next time, we're going to follow company policy, which we're following now, but it'll be a write-up. Something like that. Be professional. There are times when you're going to make a mistake. Don't do it. I wrote a book, I Can Lead. And there's a question mark at the end. You can find it on Amazon. I think it's a great book, but in that book, I talk about if you're doing something wrong and you think about it like, man, I'm doing this wrong thing again, stop. Immediately stop. Whatever happened in the past is in the past. Stop, change your actions, go away. Do whatever you need to do to stop doing the wrong thing. You can write new history, right? Because if you did, let's say you rob banks. Okay, so you robbed a bank last month. And you're planning with your group to rob a bank. Guys, you know what? I know this is gonna sound dumb, but we shouldn't do this. Look, come on, man. We got away with it last time. We got so much money. I know, but we shouldn't be doing it. Oh, come on, man. You're just being weak. You know what? Guys, we shouldn't do this. I'm walking away. What? But we need you. Don't let that peer pressure keep you doing the wrong things. Peer pressure from outside or internally. Say no and walk away. How many times I read an article about gambling. How many times has gambling destroyed lives? I don't know. So let's just say 2. We know it's at least 2. All right? When you're cranking on that slot machine or you're betting on the ponies or you're at the table and you think about it, man, I shouldn't be here. I got my family to go kiss it. Good night. I should get another job. whatever it may be, are you going to stop and turn and start doing new activities? If you struggle with boredom, find something else to do. Watch YouTube videos. This one is a good one, but there's other ones. Minority Mindset's a good one. One Rental at a Time is a good one. Brian Anderson's a good one. There's lots of good ones out there. Go talk to your neighbor. Go wander around the grocery store and find an old person who needs someone to talk to. Trust me, they're out there. Go do visitations. There's lots of stuff you can do. You choose to make new history starting right now. You are so amazing, so clever, so just full of energy that you can do it. And if you need to take a nap to get some more energy, go do that. But whatever you did yesterday is behind you. Create new history starting right now. You're amazing because you act amazing. I don't remember the guy's name, but he said, stop calling people amazing because they're not. And that was a good point. Sometimes our history is wrong. It's bad. And we need to start doing the right thing today, right now. Whatever that was, that it was then. Right now. New Year's resolutions. Why do we do New Year's resolutions? So that we can improve ourselves. Why are we trying to be good leaders? So that bad history doesn't repeat ourselves. So we're not that one tearing people down. We're not that one saying, hey, remember, Bob, when you... Spencer, what were you going to say? No, you were going to say something. No. You don't have to finish your statement. You were going to make that joke, that sexually inappropriate joke. Don't do it. Be right. You can do it. You determine your history. Yeah, there's going to be negative people. You're going to be reminded about your past. You're going to go through seasons of when you were immature and now you are maturing and growing, so you're not that person anymore. You can do it. I have faith in you. There's mentors out there. You are amazing because you act amazing. Your history, it's there. Don't live in it. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep improving. Have a great week and have a great 2 weeks while I'm gone. Looking forward to seeing you guys again.